Yeah, you know what?
Here you go.
I like a drink.
All right.
No, I like a drink.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about this script.
I know.
Who's Joe? Yeah.
Joe, I don't know if they in some kind of army. I don't know what it is, but all I'm getting out of it is like he's in love with Lorona, and Lorona's with this guy named Moody, or trying to be with him. He's trying to stop her. It's kind of like the love triangle.
Okay, good. So we've got Joe, Lorna, and Moody, right? What does Joe do? A lot of times in a play or a book or a movie or even real life, people are defined by what their job is. What does Joe do?
It has something to do with the army. That's what it seems like.
Why do you think? Army plays an instrument. But he gave up the instrument, right?
To be in the Marines.
What's the army thing? It's not the army. What makes you think it's the army?
Because it's
It kind of feels like he got called up to go.
Hey guys, I'm gonna take it if it's distracting you so that you can't pay attention. Okay. A gun? Is there a gun in the scene?
No.
Okay. If you haven't read the scene,
I can bring one.
Oh, I could bring one.
You're kind of think he got called up to be like two other guys.
tell me why you think army. You're not on the wrong track.
Well, I'm trying to, because it's.
It would be, you know, the answer to this question is really easy if most of you read it.
Why say army?
What does he do? We've got plays an instrument. What instrument does he play? The violin. So he plays the violin.
He's a violin player.
Right, the fiddle's a violin.
He's a violinist.
But how does he make his money? Yeah. He works for Moody, okay? Moody is Joe's manager.
He's a security guard.
He's a bouncer.
Okay, hold on one second. I would like you guys to be quiet, okay? Because I know you didn't read the play. You're already like making me look bad in front of people that I respect. So I would like you to be quiet for a while.
All right.
Okay? Thank you.
All right.
If you have something intelligent to contribute, I would love it. Thanks. So Moody is Joe's manager. What were you saying?
It says, I went off to the wars because someone called me a name.
Okay, so he went to the war. So he was in the military. Good. But he's back. What does he do now? Okay, he does play the violin. Actually, he can't play the violin now because of the thing that he does. What jobs?
I don't know.
What jobs have a manager?
Like an office, like a
They were in the
store.
1930s. There's another character that's mentioned too. Some of you guys got to.
Tokyo.
Tokyo is what? Tokyo is his trainer.
So he's a boxer?
Joe is a boxer.
Okay, cool.
In fact, have you heard the term Joe Boxer?
Yeah.
Some of you are wearing them right now, probably. That's where this comes from. This is a famous play that won the Pulitzer Prize. It's called Golden Boy. And Joe is the boxer. Now, if you're a boxer, why can't you play violin?
Because your hands.
Too strong.
What happens to your hands when you hit things?
They swollen.
They swell up, right? You ever see boxers after they box?
Yeah.
They put their hands in the ice to stop the swelling?
Yeah, like Rocky.
You can't do the fingering on the fret. I don't even know if it's called the fret, the neck of the violin, right? So he can't do both. So the author has created conflict within the main character already. He's inherently conflicted. He cannot do the arts and the violence at the same time. And you'll notice that they're probably the most two opposite things you can think of. Okay, violin and boxing. So, he boxes. For who? Moody. Tokyo's his trainer. Now, where does Lorna fit in?
She's supposed to be this guy's girl.
Whose girl is she?
Moody's.
She's Moody's girl. Is she Moody's wife?
No.
No, she's Moody's girl. So, Lorna's with Moody, but what's she doing with Joe? Who does she love?
Joe.
So she loves Joe. Whoops. But why does she stay with Moody?
But she feels sorry for him or something like that.
She feels sorry for Moody and he makes her feel safe, right?
Yeah.
What usually makes people feel safe? Money, right? Moody has the money. Lorna loves Joe, safe with Moody. What does Joe want in this scene? Lorna, right?
Yeah.
In a perfect world, at the end of the scene, what would happen?
You would probably get the girl?
They would be together right there on the bench, right?
Yeah.
That's literally what Joe wants. He wants pretty much Lorna. What does Lorna want?
Money.
Good. So what does she need from Joe?
Money.
No, Joe doesn't have the money.
Love.
Moody has the money.
So
She does love him, right? Wants the love back, but what's more important than the love? Safety, which is the money. So what is she trying to get from Joe in this scene in regards to the money? What does Joe need to keep doing so the money keeps
Boxing.
coming in?
Fighting.
Boxing. How can Lorna help keep the money coming in?
Stay with Moody.
Stay with Moody, but she's not with Moody in the scene. She's with Joe, right? So what does she need to get Joe to keep doing?
Boxing.
Keep boxing. So she needs to keep Joe boxing. All right? All right, so we now know what their goals are. Joe's goal is to get Lorna, right? Every time he says something, he wants to try and get Lorna. Lorna needs to get Joe to keep boxing. At the end of the scene, Joe wins. They basically start making out, they go home and do their thing with their regular Tuesdays. She's his regular Tuesday gal. Right? Yeah, and she's, if you think about it, she's got issues, right? Okay, so I would like a couple volunteers. I need a Joe and a Lorna. Lorna, come on up. You want to be Joe? You want to be Joe? Yeah. Bring two of these guys up. We'll trade you out. I'll get these two guys and then we'll flip you out. Remember, in about 10 minutes, remind me, just way back. So which one of you is Joe? You want to be Joe? And you're Lorna. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tell the story. Well, actually, I'm going to have you guys do the scene. Read the stage directions, right? It says, a few nights later, they sit on the same park bench. What does this imply, the same park bench?
It's like their regular park bench.
It's their regular park bench. They've been here before, okay? So go ahead, just read a little bit. I'm not going to have you read the whole thing. I'll stop you after you turn the page a little bit.
Some nights I wake up. My heart's beating a mile a minute. Before I open my eyes, I know what it is. The feeling that someone's standing at my bed. Then I open my eyes. It's gone. Ran away. Maybe it's that old girl. Lorna, maybe it's you. Don't you ever think of it anymore? Music? What are you trying to remind me of? A kid with a busted brown collar and a violin case tucked under his arm? Does that sound appetizing to you? No, you say it that way. You said it different once. What's on your mind, Lorna? What's on yours? You're real for me. The way music was real. You saw your car, your career. What do you want with me?
Okay, good. We're going to stop there. Give them a teeny round of applause. Stay here. No, you're working. I'm going to work you. Okay, now, just visually, let's pretend you're all your own grandma, right? And you're in the back of Beatty Auditorium, and you're deaf. What does this play look like it's about?
Two people sitting down.
Two people sitting down reading from script, right?
Yeah.
It looks like two people sitting here because Mr. O'Neill told them to. But that's not what the scene is about. So we need to visually tell the story. Because again, if this were radio, we wouldn't care. They could sit, they could read, and we'd just do stuff with our voices. But it's not, it's live theater. So we have to make the pictures that go along with what's going on in the scene. Okay? So, how does Joe feel here? His first line. Feels what?
He's dreaming.
Scared. He has nightmares, right?
Yeah.
Good. He's trying to talk through these nightmares, which makes him feel nervous. If he feels better afterwards, probably. Good. If you're nervous and you're talking about nightmares that you have, what are you going to be doing physically? Crying, maybe. What else? just sitting there whimpering.
Or confused.
Think physically.
Like, well,
How do we physically represent how he feels here? His face, good, but this isn't film. Grandma's way in the back. We can't see your face actually. You're like this big.
yeah.
What? Head down? Okay, that's good. Even bigger. Trembling, good, but bigger, because you're not going to see trembling in the back of the auditorium. What's a big physical version of trembling that you do when you're frustrated and you're trying to talk something out?
Probably pacing back and forth.
Pacing back and forth. Let's try that. Do me a favor, Joe. Pace back and forth. Lorna, you're still sitting. Pace back and forth in front of Lorna. Don't even talk yet. Just pace for a second. I want you to all look at this picture.
Just
How does
walk
she
back
pace?
forward.
This is actually a good question. Because remember, Mr. O'Neill a long time ago said, never turn your back to the audience. So when you pace on stage, watch what happens. Back, right? Normal life, we all turn in one direction. You're doing a little oval. But we're not in normal life. She has to switch directions. So turn towards the audience. Good, now go that way. Now turn towards the audience. Perfect. See how that is? You won't know that as the audience, but as an actor, you have to know that. So, just this picture now. So think about how frustrated you are about this nightmare. Face back and forth a little bit. Don't talk yet. Just look at this picture and tell me if it tells this story better than what we had before.
Yeah. Yep.
Who's calm and relaxed? She is. Who's got some issue? We don't know what it is yet because she hasn't spoken. Joe does, right? Good. So, just because it says they sit on the same park bench, doesn't matter. This was written by the stage manager of the very first production, generally, and is a guideline. It just tells us where they are. You don't have to be sitting on the same park bench. It doesn't tell the story. So we're going to have Joe walking back and forth. He's going to start talking, and then we're going to watch until we feel we need to change the image to match the story that's going on. So go ahead, Sus. So lights come up, and Joe's pacing back and forth.
Some nights I wake up, my heart's beating a mile a minute. Before I open my eyes, I know what it is. The feeling that someone's standing at my bed. Then I open my eyes, it's gone, ran away.
Maybe it's that old bill of yours.
Lorna, maybe it's you.
What does she want to do? You see what Chelsea wanted to do? No. Stop, right? She wanted to stop. Did you feel you wanted to stop? Yeah, because now you're talking to her. We've changed directions. Oh, I'm bitching, I'm complaining, I'm moaning, I hate my life, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Lorna, it's you. Right? It is. It's a 1930s soap opera. Those of you that read it know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay? So, let's do that. At some point, there's a couple of places here where she can stop pacing.
Yeah.
The problem is, she can't stop pacing right here. Lorna, maybe it's you, right? Then you all paid $67 to see the back of my butt, right? Which actually might be worth it. No. She has to end up on either side. Which side would you like her to end up on? Stage
Right.
Stage right. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay? Stage right. So, however you need to do it, because your pacing is probably going to be a little different because you just started doing this, you need to talk and then make sure that when she says her thing, you end up over here at some point. Make sense? So you may have to stop early, or you may have to keep walking. So we're going to start again from the beginning. Lights up.
Some nights I wake up, my heart's beating a mile a minute. Before I open my eyes, I know what it is, the feeling that someone's standing at my bed. Then I open my eyes, it's gone, ran away.
Maybe it's that bill of yours.
Lorna, maybe it's you.
Ooh, she did a couple of things all in there. You see that?
Yeah.
She didn't just stop. She came towards her. She touched her. All this stuff all at once. That's awesome. You know what those are called? What are those called?
You said pork.
Good job. Impulses is what I just wrote. Those are good reading. Okay? So she had all those impulses. As a director, we're going to notice those, and we're going to say, hey, so you want to do those? Let's do it. Let's give her time to set it up. So what we're going to do is, we're going to now write, remember these abbreviations I had over here? We're going to write our stage directions. So Joe, the lights come up. Joe is pacing. Whoops, C-I-N-G. Downstage of bench, right? And then in a different color, because it's Lorna, Lorna sits, where does she sit?
On the bench.
On the bed.
So she sits here?
Yeah.
No, how do we tell where she sits?
She sits on the
Left bench, right?
Yeah.
Sits, bench left.
Wait, no. Wait.
Okay? Bench left. Now if she gets hit by a car, God forbid, the person taking her place knows exactly where to sit.
I got your chase.
Got it?
I got your chase.
Okay. Shh. We only have like 10 minutes left, you guys. Help me out. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have Chelsea stop pacing right about here, because that gives her time to work up to changing gears from, I'm so frustrated about this thing that I can't think straight, and then, Lorna, maybe it's you, right? So, we're going to have her stop here, which makes sense because the dream is gone and ran away. So we can let the emotion, yeah, and then it's gone, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm so frustrated about this dream, and then it just disappeared. It's gone. So the energy goes too. Make sense? So we're going to stop. Where do we stop? Where do we stop pacing?
After she says,
no,
maybe
when
I should
Leonard,
fill.
when Leonard start talking.
I know where in the text, but where on stage do we stop pacing?
Like on the
on
right
the
bench.
Right.
Right
No,
bench.
it's right
What?
center.
Right.
Right bench.
Right of bench or
Wait, down
upright
right.
of bench?
Down right.
Down right of bench. See how specific
Yeah.
we are? This is
Got
right
it.
of bench. This is down right of bench. Got to do it. Because if you mess up the picture, it's totally different, right? So stop DR of bench or whatever. We'll put that. So let's try that. And then what we're going to do is, because she had the impulse to move closer and to touch her, we're going to have you sit. Maybe it's you, right? Because in a perfect world, Joe wants what? What does he want?
Lorona.
Her, right? So if he says, Lorna, maybe it's you, and she says, oh, you're right, it is, and then they just make out on the bench. That's his dream, right? That's the perfect thing that he wants. So he's going to go try and get it right there. So I'm going to have you sit on that one. So go back to the last, start from before I open my eyes. So you're pacing back and forth.
Okay.
And just start from before I open my eyes.
Then I opened my eyes. It's gone. I ran away.
Maybe it's that old girl of yours.
Laura, maybe it's you.
What did she just do? Right? What did she just do? Lorna, maybe it's you. Oh, what about that music? How about those Mets? How are the Niners doing? She changed the subject, right? So how do we visually show that she changes the subject and doesn't want to be close to him?
She can get up.
Stand up, walk away, look away. Did you want to look away? Is that what you said? Okay, either one, any one of those. You could, in rehearsal, we can try out each one of those and see which one feels better and looks better. For now, pick which one. So all you gotta do is just do that one line and come back in. So we're gonna say, whichever one you want to do. Whichever, when she comes in to sit, whichever one feels right to you.
Then I opened my eyes. It's gone.
Watch.
Maybe it's that old girl of yours.
Laura, maybe it's you.
Don't you ever think of it anymore? Music?
What are you trying to remind me of? A kid with a busted brown collar and a violin case tucked under his arm. Does that sound appetizing to you?
Not when you say it.
Good, okay, now I'm gonna tweak as a director, because this is what I do for a living, okay? Are they agreeing or disagreeing right now?
Disagree.
Disagreeing. How can I physically show that they're disagreeing? Yes.
Chelsea
Shake her
could
head.
probably get up and try to like come back around to get her attention. Like,
Does he want to talk about this?
no.
No.
So
If
she
somebody
can,
doesn't
like-
want to talk about something, do they go towards the person
No,
they're
they can
talking
be-
to?
no,
they
They
go
go
away.
away.
Go
So
away.
let's, because she just sat down and it looks stupid if she's like, I love you, no I don't. Oh, I love you, no I don't. Let's just have her turn away this way, because she's now facing this way, and look at the picture we're now telling. See? And she doesn't have to get up. So let's try that again. Just come in from Lorna, maybe it's you. And it may look stupid, it may look cheesy, but we don't know yet. We haven't seen it.
Laura, maybe it's you.
Don't you ever think of it anymore? Music?
What are you trying to remind me of? A kid with a busted brown collar and a violin case tucked into his arm. Does that sound appetizing to you?
And at the end of that, she can kind of turn back. It looks fake right now because I told her to do it, right? But if she has that impulse, like, God, why do you keep doing that? And then go into her, like, what are you trying to remind me of? Is that the end of it?
No.
Oh, does that sound appetizing to you, right? That's when you can turn back towards her to try and make that connection. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so go from, does that sound appetizing?
What are you trying to remind me of? A kid with a busted brown collar and a violin gets stuck under his arm, does that sound appetizing to you?
Not when you say it that way. You said it differently.
What's on your mind? Lauren?
Good. Okay, so she made the decision to get sensitive again, right? You said it differently once. Remember those good old days?
Yeah.
What's on your mind, Lorna? So they're right here. And he's like, I hope it's sex, right?
Hell yeah.
And she's like, but it's not, right? But she plays to that.
I'll
So let's go, I'm trying to think a couple steps ahead. All right, so let's keep that. So you turn towards her. So I'm gonna try and write down all your notes. So we have, turn away. Go ahead and start from Don't You Ever Think of It Anymore music.
Don't you ever think of it anymore?
What are you trying to remind me of? The kid with the busted brown collar and a violin gets stuck into his arm. Does that sound appetizing to you?
I wouldn't say it that way. You said it differently.
What's on your mind, Lorna?
What's on yours?
You're real for me. The way music is real.
You got your car, your career. What do you want?
I developed the ability to knock down anyone my way. But what point have I made?
Okay, good. So now we're kind of off the story, right, here? All right, so I'm going to take it a step further because we don't have a lot of time, and it is a little melodramatic. This is overly dramatic because it's soap opera-y. It's from the 1930s. So what happens if, let me stand up for a second. If I'm here, right, and I really want to focus, we're as close as we can be, but I really want to get into things, watch what happens. And this line, I'm thinking about this line, what's on your mind, Lauren, what's on yours? You're real for me, the way music was real, okay? So as I get more and more into her, what is happening with me physically?
You're getting down on your taking me.
And what does that look like?
Marry.
Do I want to marry her? Yes. I'm not actually asking her, but grandma in the back gets what this picture looks like, right? So you could do that. I'm a little bigger than you, so it's less awkward. It's not like, look, I'm gonna marry you, right? But I did turn to like, look, this is so important, like I really have to tell you. And all of a sudden, every girl in the house is like, is he gonna ask her? Because you all do that. I could trip, fall, drop my keys, and you'd be like, oh my God, Mr. O'Neill's gonna ask me, right? Because that's how girls work. That's all they're thinking about. Okay? So let's try that and see how it looks. Go back to, you said it different once. You said it different once.
You said it differently.
What's on your mind, Lorna?
What's on yours?
You're real for me.
That works, right? It's kind of cool, huh? Get a little chill, like, oh my God. Okay. Keep going. Shh.
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
Keep going.
Okay. You're real for me. The way music is real.
You got your car, your career.
I developed the
Ah, good. So, did she buy into it or no?
No.
Is she are you uncomfortable at all? Like, is this getting too, like, oh no, he's on his knee, like, because you could get up.
Okay, I can.
You don't have to. But yes, you could, like, I'm not having none of this marriage crap. Right? You can do that. But what? Tell me.
I don't know, but you kind of seem like she's like sad. Not like sad.
Yes, she does. So, okay, so you can stay there. Tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to rewind. Sorry I didn't get you up here. We're going to rewind, and what I want you guys to do is I want you to go through what we just did without talking. Okay, I want you to hit all the beats that we just did, and I want you to read through silently. Okay? Watch this, you guys, and tell me if what you see tells the story better than the two of them sitting on the same park bench. Right, no talking, just pace, and do the kind of rhythm, and you're going through, right, you're pretending to talk. Good, okay? Give them a round of applause. Did that tell the story better than what we had done originally?
Yeah.
Of course. And yes, watching it and going back, this whole thing with them both looking different directions looks stupid. So we would fix that. How do we tell that moment without doing that? Maybe we do have her get up again, sit down and get up, sit down. Maybe Lorna gets up on Don't You Think of It Anymore music. And then that changes everything else we just did. This is what happens during rehearsal, when you're doing staging rehearsal. You have to find the best way to visually tell the story. And it's not just what works for the audience, but it's also what works for the actor. Notice how we had a conversation about her not wanting to get up right there. I don't really want to get up because I feel like I want to connect with him, but at the same time, I really, So we had to deal with that. Because if I made her get up, her reason for getting up would be because the director told her to. And that's not part of the story. So that's what you need to do. You're going to get some rehearsal time the next couple of days for your final, for your no-go voice. And some of you already have some of your staging. You have like, I'm doing her hair. Well, that's great, but if you're doing her hair for 20 minutes, is that really telling the whole story? Or is there a time where you stop and you're like, what girl, you told him da 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 da? So that picture is different than this picture. Those are the things you need to think about. You saw all of the little specific things that we had to write down in our script. These are the things you should have in your script. Okay? Any questions about that? Did this help you today a little bit understand kind of this process?
Yeah.
Okay? It's fun. It's like drawing with people. Only you get to include their emotions, the things they say, and the pictures that you make. Okay? Cool. Thank you guys very much. If you could pass the scripts that way, that would be awesome.
I put it in bed.
Don't go. There's the bell. We just installed it yesterday.
My thing
Somebody's
right
watered.
My things, Elijah.
Ooh, somebody's water bottle.
Elijah, your water.
Our papers is right here.
Thank you, sir.